Hello everyone, my name is Dan Moreno, and today I would like to talk about dressing for success and the importance of professional appearance in our modern workplace. Dressing, people dress up all the time for jobs. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. You could be a janitor or you could be a Fortune 500 executive. But the point is, there's always a dress. People are always dressing up, and it really does make a difference. It's always made a difference. And today I really want to look at the importance of this in our modern world. So why do we dress professionally? It's important that we dress professionally because first impressions. When people see somebody, often they judge them by the way they look. The saying is like, you can't judge a book by its cover, but that's usually what happens. And when people are dressed up, people are going to make, impressions whether we like it or not. And that's why it's important that we make that first impression good by the way we look. It's also important that we dress professionally because it's a good presentation and representation of the company that we work for or the line of work that we're doing. And it can create certain preconceived notions that we may not even realize. It's also important that we dress professionally to create distinctions. Sometimes leadership might dress a different way to show, I guess, even a level of superiority, but also to show that, leaders are supposed to rise up and be, on a different level than the people under them. Professionality in dress is also important for credibility and seriousness, meaning that when we dress professional, it looks like we actually take our job seriously and we mean business when we do our job. Looking at the types of dress codes, there actually are a lot of dress codes, and every place varies, but there's some good general types of dress codes that I'm going to discuss right now. The first one that we can look at is the casual dress code. And most often this is informal clothing, and this is something that you could even wear, even just on the street, maybe going out with your friends. And there are some places that do use this. But even when you do use an informal dress code, you should avoid doing this with your clients or maybe when you do an interview because, you just want to look a little bit better for them. But as you can see from the picture, a lot of times casual dress clothes includes things like your t-shirts, jeans, and some casual sneakers or something, and maybe a sweater over the shirt. It's pretty simple. The next type of dress code is the smart casual. So this is kind of going back off of, this uses some of the base of the casual dress code, but there's a little more style. There's more trendiness. Maybe you'll use like nicer little maybe name brand stuff. There's smart accents, as you can see from the picture. Some nicer shoes, such as like dress shoes, maybe a dress shirts, just different things like that. It's just a little more professional. And this, like talking about what I said before, this could be a little bit better if you're in a casual environment. You can do this instead, so that way you just stand out a little bit more. The next style is the business casual, and the business casual is very common in the workplace. It's one of the most common dress styles, and it's the most adaptable. You could probably use this for an interview, but then you could also use it for a casual job, maybe a very formal, on a casual day. It's just going to be one of the most versatile dress codes. As you can see, usually a lot of dress shirts, maybe some dress slacks, and then dress shoes. It's pretty nice. It's right in between super formal and then casual. The next type is the business professional, and the business professional is probably one of the most traditional business looks used in like the early 1900s and around. It's been around for a long time. Your classic black and white suit, black tie, ladies with skirts and dresses and a blazer. It's a very conservative dress code, and a lot of high-level professional industries use it, like the finance department or finance industry, finance sector, the government, law. This is one of the more standard looks, and it's very useful, but it's not always used in places today now. And then lastly is the business formal, which one is probably the highest level of formality in business dress codes. It's the most formal settings. Probably be used for things like award ceremonies, special dinners, roasts, evening events, and you could probably most compare this to the black tie standard of dress. And as you can see from the picture, men would be wearing things like tuxedos, bow ties, pleated shirts, Oxfords, loafer shoes, and then women would be wearing nice dresses, high heels. Yes, and the colors aren't super flashy, but it is very formal. And this is probably the last one. You're not going to use this very often, but when there's a special event, probably do want to dress up business formal. And then with these dress codes, there are some general rules that will really help you stand apart when dressing up for your job, just dressing up professionally. Some general rules is that you should dress for success. What do I mean by this? So if you're in a job and you want to advance, well then dress what you want to look like. Dress for the job that you want, not the job that you have. And when you do this, you're already putting yourself in the mindset that, hey, I'm going to advance in the kingdom. And that's a really good thing to do. It's also important that when you're doing your dress code, when you first go to a job, that you do your research. Look on the online website of the company, or maybe their flyers or their advertisements, and kind of look at what they look at. Even ask questions if you need to. You don't want to go into a workplace and not know how they dress up. It's also important that you don't draw too much attention to yourself. You don't wear any shirts that have like distractive images, offensive images. Jewelry should be, nice, but it doesn't have to be super flashy. Another thing that you should do is ask questions. Ask your peers like, hey, what should I dress? What's acceptable? What's not? And then just be observant. Look around. Most of the time, everybody will be wearing similar things, and that's where you can get your cues for what you should wear. You should also match the position. Not like I said before. You should try to dress the job for you want, but match your position. If you're working in a construction company, you're not going to wear a 3-piece suit, And if you're working in an executive branch of a company, you're not going to be wearing, scrubs. Just, that's a general rule, and most people should know that. And then looking forward, there are a lot of great things that are actually happening, and a lot of things have been changing recently in the world of business dress codes. For example, because of COVID-19, because there were a lot of people stuck inside, a lot of people didn't dress up for work. They would put on a shirt and then just put like a blazer over it. And so that has really dramatically changed the way that people do their dress codes, and businesses are doing that. And what we've learned is that a lot of times now businesses are letting people are dressing up more to express themselves. They're wanting to be authentic in their self. This is a great quote that I found from Naima Judge, who's a managing director and market investment executive for the Bank of America private bank. And she said that it takes energy not to be your authentic self. If I can be more authentic, I can then use my energy to focus on clients and uplift people who report to me. So she was really showing that it's really important that you be yourself, and that's the way that dress codes are happening. People are, they're still dressing nice, but they're being themselves, and this is good. People are just putting out what they like, and they're being unique, and this is actually improving business performance. And I think that's really good. I think that's really exciting because everybody wants to be able to express themselves. I know I want to. And I guess some other things that are changing are that dress codes are becoming more adaptable. There's more leniency. There's more of a focus on comfortability, especially, like I said, because of COVID. People were stuck at home. They were, sitting in their, living room doing their work. And so people have adapted to comfortability. So how will you dress? Like I said before, I think it's really great for the advancements that are coming. There's some great dress codes. I've already laid them before you, but at the end of the day, how are you going to dress? I really believe that it's important that you feel confident. It's not always about, trying to match the standard. If there is a standard, you should keep with it, but I really hope that when you are choosing out your outfits for work, that you be yourself. I know I feel great when I can dress up the way I want to, and I don't have to worry about it. And it just helps me to be a better worker. And I hope that it's the same for you. Yes, I really hope so. So have fun, dress your best, and dress for success.